So this curriculum lesson is for Y1 Beech, and you need to make sure that you come onto my story time this afternoon before you do this activity. Okay, so come to my story time today and then you'll be able to do this task, because this is my World Book Day task that I want you to do with me. So hopefully you've joined in at my session and we've had a little read of There's a Mouse in My House. I want you to just pause this video and just have a little think what happened in the story that we read today. So just pause it and just have a little think. Fabulous. So I really enjoyed this story and I hope you did too. And we found out, didn't we, that this poor polar bear, had a mouse in his house, and he was not very impressed because the mouse threw him around because he now has the newfound skill of learning taekwondo. So he did martial arts, so he was able to throw the polar bear around in his own home. The mouse also plays loud music, which keeps the bear awake at night, and he isn't very happy. And he also dresses up in very unusual clothing, which the polar bear is despairing at, okay? He is not a fan of at all. And we're going to use this book today to do a little task at home for our curriculum lesson. And I think you're going to really, really enjoy it. And it's all based around rhyming words, okay? And you might have recognized this book here on my left that we've looked at before in our story time, which is There's a Bear on My Chair, okay? So this book here is the prequel to There's a Mouse in My House that we've looked at today. And I want us today to look at rhyming words. And rhyming words are words that have the same sounds in, okay? They sound the same. So for example, if we had the word cat, we could rhyme it with the word mat, because here I've got at, and here I've got at, and they sound the same, therefore they rhyme. If we were thinking of other words that rhyme with the at sound in, we might have sat, we might have fat, we might have hat, we might have pat, we might even have rat, okay? There's lots of words that rhyme with that sounding that I can think of. However, when we do rhyming words, not all of them have the same spelling in, because can you remember when we've looked at homophones, sometimes words have similar sounds, but they are spelt differently. So for example, I might have tea, as in the drink of tea or the tea that you eat. And I also might have tree, okay? These words both have the E sound in, okay? They both sound the same, but they've got different spellings, but they rhyme because the sound is the same, okay? Other words that we might have with these sounds in that rhyme are see, as in the ocean, or even see, the verb to look at something. We could also have flee, which is one of the words we've learned in our lessons where to escape from danger. We might also have, try to think of another one, glee, when you're really full of happiness. Okay, so I want you then to spend a couple of minutes having a look at these front covers. Can you find the rhyming words? There's two words that rhyme on There's a Bear on My Chair, and there's two words that rhyme in There's a Mouse in My House. So just pause the video and just see if you can find those rhyming words for me. Super. So here I've got There's a Bear on My Chair, and hopefully you found the rhyming words were bear and chair. And if we look here at the spellings, like we've just talked about, the air sounds are spelt differently, okay, but they sound the same, so they're homophones, okay? Here we've got There's a mouse in my house, and here are the rhyming parts of these words. Now they do sound the same and they're also spelt the same. We're going to use this today to create our own story title. Okay, we're going to have a go at creating a tiny little story in the style of There's a Mouse in My House. So I've got some pictures of animals and some objects, because in our stories we've got an animal, we've got a bear, we've got a mouse, and we're rhyming it with an object such as a chair or a house? So we need to choose one animal and one object, okay? And they need to rhyme. So I've got lots of animals on the left-hand side and I've got a few objects on the right-hand side. So not all of these have an animal to match with an object, but some of them do. So I want us to just spend a little time seeing if we can match 4 animals to these 4 objects. So I'll go through these objects and animals so we know exactly what they are. So here I've got a fly, a dog, an ant, a sheep, a kangaroo, a cat, a baboon. Oh, a baboon is a type of monkey. A fish, a crow, a teddy or a ted, that's a clue, and a goat. Okay. Here I've got a mat, a coat, a bed, and a spoon. Have a look here. Are there any words that match because of the same sounds with these 4 pictures here? Let's look at mat. Which animal could rhyme with mat? Would it be fly? There's a fly on the mat. No. There's a dog on the mat. No. Have a look. Which animal would it be? Which animal would it be? Ah, yes, look. There's a cat on the mat because cat has the same sound in it as mat. So there we go. We've matched our first one up. So there's a cat on the mat. Let's choose coat. Right, I'm going to do coat next. Can you find an animal here that rhymes with coat? Which animal rhymes with coat? So sounds the same. Is it ant? There's an ant on my coat? No. There's a kangaroo on my coat? No, that's not the same sound. Which one is it? Well done if you said goat. Okay, there's a goat on my coat, or in my coat potentially, who knows? Then I've got 2 more objects. Oh, I've got spoon. Oh, that's a tricky one. Something on a spoon. Fly on a spoon. Fly, spoon. No, they don't have the same sound. Teddy, Ted on a spoon. No. Fish on a spoon. No, which one is it? This is a tricky one. Baboon. Ooh, I wonder if you got that one at home. There is a baboon on my spoon. Okay. And my last one, I've got a bed. So which out of these animals or objects here could go and rhyme with bed? Is it sheep? Sheep, bed? No, they don't rhyme. Fish, bed? No. Another tricky one. I was trying to catch you out. I wondered if you could get, there's a Ted on my bed. Okay, so here are my 4 objects and animals that I've grouped together because they rhyme. So I've got, there's a Ted on my bed. There's a baboon on the spoon. There's a cat on the mat. And there's a goat in my coat. Okay. And I've got some other animals here that you might want to use in a minute. And let me explain. So we're going to now have a go at creating a title for our own story using this idea from there's a mouse in my house. Okay. So we've had there's a bear on my chair. There's a mouse in my house. So now we need to think about which preposition we're using. Is it in something? So in it or on it, okay? But I want to keep with the same phraseology that we can use and steal from that story, okay? So, I'm going to choose an animal, and you might want to steal one that we've already got from the bottom. Here, look. So I've grouped all these together. So you might want to have your story title as There's a Goat in My Coat. Or you might want to have There's a Baboon on My Spoon. Or you might want to think of your another one on your own. This could be using one of the animals I put to the top here, or it could be another animal that you know. So I'm going to spend some time thinking, what could I have as my title for my story? I've got it. I'm going to use the bee. Yes, I'm going to use the bee, and I'm going to say there's a bee. So here's my word, and it needs to rhyme. There's a bee. I'm going to have in my tea. There's a bee in my tea. Yes, because bee and tea rhyme, don't they? They have the same sound. Do they have the same spelling though? No, they don't, do they? So it's a homophone, okay? Well, it's not homophone, but it's similar to homophones in that they have the same sound and different meanings, okay? We've got bee and tea. Right, so that's going to be my title for my story. I'm going to copy that now because we're going to have a little go at creating our own stories, just like there's a mouse in my house. Let me show you. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to put my title at the top. So your title is going to be different to mine, okay? I don't want you to write there's a bee in my tea. I want you to think of a different one. So I need a front cover for the front of my book. Just like here, when I've got, there's a mouse in my house. I have my polar bear, didn't I? With a lovely mouse on the top. I want to create a front cover. So I need to draw a picture of the bee in my tea. Now I could have two meanings to this because I could have tea as in a mug of tea, or I could have tea as in my plate of food. I think I'm going to go for tea as in the mug of tea that people drink. So I'm going to have a go at drawing a mug of tea. Are you ready? This is my front cover. So here's my mug. It's going to be a very big mug. Big mug of tea. Okay, so there's my tea. And it's so hot, look. But there's a bee in it, so I need to draw the bee in my tea. I'm going to pretend that my mug is see-through. I don't know if you've ever seen those transparent mugs that you can get some tea or coffee in, but they mean that you can see the inside of them, inside of the cup. I don't know if you've seen them. So now I need to draw my bee. Are you ready? Here's my bee. And bees are stripy, aren't they? They've got black stripes and they've got yellow stripes. I'm just going to draw these bits and I'm going to get my yellow. I'm going to do the yellow stripes. Oh, he looks like a nice bee. And he needs his wings as well. Here he is. Fabulous. There's a bee in my tea. So there is my title. Now though, I've got my piece of paper and I've split it up into 3 parts. So you might want to get your piece of paper, instead of having it portrait, turn it landscape, okay, with your title and your picture of your front cover at the top. You might have a bit more space. So I want to think of 3 things that the bee in my tea is going to do in my story. Right, I've got an idea. The first thing he can do in my house is, I know I've got lots of books in my house, so he can read all my books. So let me show you. I'm going to draw a picture of my book then. Here he is. I'm going to squiggles all my squiggles and the writing in my book. And then I'm going to draw my bee again, so he reads all my books. Here's a naughty bee. Hopefully if I draw a lovely bee here, I'll just be able to copy him and make this a little bit quicker so that you don't have to sit through me doing my awful drawings at home. There we go. So I've got, there's a bee in my book. I might even write that down. Yeah, I think I'm going to write that. He likes reading books. He likes reading books, right? He reads all my books. He reads all my books. He reads all my books. The books. He reads all my books, right? What else could he steal in my house? Oh, I've got an idea. I know what he could steal in my house. He could steal my hairbrush. he could steal my hairbrush and use it to brush all his hair. Yeah, so he uses my brush for his hair. Right, let's see if I can draw this bee. I'm going to copy. Sort of. We'll go with that. We'll use that bee for now. Okay, so here's my bee. So he uses the bee. I'm going to copy him. Put him over there as well so we can use him in a second again. There we go. So he uses my hairbrush. What a naughty bee he is. I'm going to draw my hairbrush now. Are you ready? My hairbrush is blue. Don't know what colour yours is at home, but this is my blue hairbrush. It's got lots of spikes on it to help me brush my hair. There we go. So he uses my brush. Right, so what am I going to write here? He uses my brush for his hair. He uses my brush for his hair. Hair. There we go. And then, what could he do in the last bit of my story? Yes, because for Lent, I've given up sweets and chocolate and cheese. You know what I'm eating a lot more of? Cake. And I've been baking lots of cake at home as well. So I'm going to say he eats all my cake. So I'm going to draw a picture of a big cake. And it can't be chocolate. I'm going to do a big slice of Victoria sponge. Oh, yummy. So here's a big slice of cake. And it's got a big layer of jam in it in the middle. Oh, yum. It looks so lovely. So he eats all my cake. Oh, he just sounds like a bit of a naughty bee, doesn't he? He eats all my cake. Fabulous. Right. Oh, I've not made my bee yellow. Oh dear. Right. So this is my story so far. Are you ready? I'm going to read it to you. So I've got, there's a bee in my tea. He reads all my books. He uses my brush for his hair, and he eats all my cake. I wonder if we can do a super challenge. Do you think we can have a go at rhyming what happens in the story as well? So that would mean that the last word at the ends of my lines would need to rhyme. Let's see if we can do it. And I wonder if you can do my challenge at home. So here we've got, he reads all my books. So I need a word that rhymes with books. Books, looks, cooks, looks. Yes, he reads all my books. He does not let me look. Yes, there we go. So I've got books and look. Okay, so they rhyme. Right. He uses my brush for his hair. So I need a word that rhymes with hair. Chair. Dare. Fair. He uses a brush for my hair. It's not fair. Yes, it's not fair. Not fair. Or we could have had, and he doesn't care. That would have been another one. Here I've got, he eats all my cake. Ooh, a word that rhymes with cake. Could have make, bake. We could have awake, Jake. He eats all my cake. That he didn't bake. I like that. That he didn't bake. Oh, right. Let's have a go now at reading my story that I've written then based on our book, There's a Mouse in My House. So I've said here, there's a bee in my tea. He reads all my books. He does not let me look. He uses my brush for his hair. It's not fair. He eats all my cake that he didn't bake. I need an ending to my story, didn't I? Right, let me just check. There's a mouse in my house. Let me see what happened at the end. Oh, can you remember? there was a knock at the door. And then when they opened the door, he let all the other mice come in. So what could happen at the end of my story? Maybe there's a buzz at the door and all the bees come in for afternoon tea because I've got lots of cake and tea. Yes, there's a buzz at the door. I could even rhyme it. And then there are more. Yes, that's great. There's a buzz at the door and then there are more, and I could draw lots and lots of bees. Are you ready? I'm going to copy this bee. I'm going to paste all these bees, and so there's a buzz at the door and then there are more. Oh my goodness. Could create hundreds of bees, couldn't I? Like a bee party coming out of a hive. Fabulous. There we go. So I'm going to tell you my story one more time. There's a bee in my tea. He reads all my books. He does not let me look. He uses my brush for his hair. It's not fair. He eats all my cake that he didn't bake. There's a buzz at the door. And then there are more. So I've got my rhyming words, which I've thought about really carefully. I want you to make sure that your little story that you create also has rhyming words in the title. Okay? Once you've got them in the title, I then want you to have a go at writing 3 events that happen in your story. You can just draw the pictures and talk through them if you would like. Or you can challenge yourselves and have a go at writing some little captions underneath the pictures as well. Have a go at writing these, send me them in to my email address, or bring them in on Monday when we come back so I can see all your fabulous stories that you've had a little go at doing this afternoon for World Book Day. Enjoy doing this task. I can't wait to see the different animals that you link up with different objects, and I bet you're going to have lots of creative ideas. Enjoy, and I will see you tomorrow for our last live lessons. Bye everyone.